Hey guys, just letting you know that Terence Pearce is a nonce of a person, and when I say that I mean it on the fundamental level. He has no sense of himself. He has no sense of placement of know thyself resolution, essentially, which is why he's nonsensical. He doesn't have a clue about reality and his own placement within it, and that's due to his own limitations of upbringing, and that is the cause in fundamentals as to why he's very much questionable as a human being, and also as to why he has no depth of feeling within him. He's like the very extremely shallow sort of person who is constantly looking for outside sources for fulfillment, and then trying to raise his own delusion of placement to those perceived statures of significance in order to continue deluding his own sense of self-preservation. That's the fundamentals of it, and the repercussions that he's probably going through in a day-to-day life of well, it's kind of beyond a delusion, isn't it, when it gets to the state that it's a complete disarray and sense of self-well-being at the same time, whereby they're just positioned in their mind of perception rather than their soul of integration, whereby the person becomes in complete denial, because that's what comes after the delusion is obviously denial, and then the next stage on from denying thyself is you're putting yourself into a range of derangement, whereby you can't challenge or accept your own reality around you. It becomes a limitation of consciousness to the point where it loses even gauge of linearity, logic, because then the logic itself that doesn't fit a narrative, even if it's linear or not, gets disregarded, which means even the linear logic shrinks down into a dot of nonsense, which is what a nonce is, isn't it? It's nonsensical. It has no sense and placement of itself, and that's possibly potentially why people like himself may turn to things like child pornography, because they're striving that hard to find the essence of themselves. They're striving that within such realms of difficulty that they're searching for emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence feeds the mind. And of course, what becomes before emotional intelligence is the soul. It is wisdom. So anyway, that sheds light into why people may turn to pedophilia, because they're in that much desperation for soul searching, that they will go to the opposite ends of the spectrum in delusionary standards of self-satisfaction, that they will turn to that extent rather than search inwards, because they're still searching outside sources, that over given time they become corrupt to the point where they actually become a paedophile, because they've lost all other ways out, that it becomes a state of no logic in residing. You become, like I said, a nonce. You become nonsensical because you no longer have your own logic to fall back on to begin with.